May I begin my piece by quoting from Zulueta da Costa's award-winning poem, Like the Mulate. Quote, "We, the Filipinos of today, are soft, easygoing, parasitic, frivolous, inconstant, indolent, inefficient. Would you have me sugarcoat you? I would be happier to shower praise upon my countrymen, but let us be realists. Let us strip ourselves. Youth of the land, you are a bitter pill to swallow." Unquote. These were the words of a man who won the first Commonwealth Literary Award for Poetry more than half a century ago. His was a serious accusation against the Filipino during his time. For the moment, however, I shall suspend my comment on such an indictment. My fellow contestants on stage, distinguished members of the boards of judges, ladies and gentlemen. For this year, our theme is the Filipino culture amidst globalization. Perhaps it immediately befits us to first ask two questions. The first is, what do we mean by the word culture? If we read the books, the term culture is given a highly complex and technical meaning that behooves only the scholars among us. Without meaning to be simplistic, I would risk to understand it simply as way of life. The Filipino culture, however, therefore, refers to the Filipino way of life, his worldview, his integrated patterns of knowledge, belief, and behavior, which have developed through the ages and which the succeeding generations are expected to imbibe unless drastic and radical interventions come into play. The second question that needs clarification is, what is globalization? I shall attempt to answer this question by using a historical point of view. Before our colonial masters, the Spaniards, set foot on Philippine soil, we knew only of our tribe. We belonged to the tribe and lived and survived only within the confines of that tribe. We had our tribal government ruled by our tribal leaders. When our colonizers took us under their control, we were exposed and forced to live a different lifestyle, an experience which was not devoid of abuses, injustices, and oppressions. For a moment, we suffered in silence. That silence, however, broke loose, and there were some few among us who dared to speak out. Leading these few Filipinos were two prominent men, Andres Bonifacio and Jose Rizal. Until then, we have realized that we had a common grievances against a common adversary. Our tribes, therefore, found the important and immediate need to band together and combine forces to fight the enemy. In the end, a nation was formed. This is what we know today as the Filipino nation. From tribalism, we have turned to nationalism. From tribal citizenship, we have turned to national citizenship. But today, there is more than being a citizen of a country. We are now a living witness to what erstwhile was a reality only in the science of fiction that we read in the past. I need not say more. You have cellular phones and you have had the chance to talk and text message to the world, com graphics and all that stuff. You access the internet and you have the world library in your hands. The world has become a village, a global village. It has shrunk to what probably used to be your tribe. Thanks and no thanks to the information highway through which global information have traveled in amazing speed. Today, we have become a global citizen too. Let me add in haste, though, that there is more to globalization than the mere speedy flow of information to and from our country. Ultimately, it is our survival as a nation, as a people, not only culturally but politically and economically as well, that we should address vis-a-vis the issue of globalization. Ladies and gentlemen, are we prepared for globalization? Does our culture allow us for globalization? What is our culture as a people? Let us together pause for a while and take a hard look at ourselves. Let me now take you back to the indictment so loudly raised by Da Costa. Are we the same Filipinos today whom he accused us bitter pills to swallow because we are soft, easygoing, parasitic, frivolous, inconstant, indolent, and inefficient? Is this still our way of life, our culture as a people? I find it objectionable to say yes, but I cannot say no because we seem to suffer from a cultural ambivalence. There is much strange paradox in our culture as a people. We aim for excellence, yet we practice mediocrity. We love our freedom, yet we persevere and suffer in silence under oppression and injustice. We condemn graft and corruption, yet we ourselves are grafters and corrupt. We desire to climb upward, yet we ourselves are part of the anarchy and chaos. We possess the capability to build, yet we use it for deconstruction. We desire to be punctual, yet we always come late. We report for work, yet we play while we work. Globalization is a competition for survival among nations. It is the survival of the fittest among men. It shall determine who in the human race has the right to live in this world. Unless we take definite decisions for ourselves to get our acts together, globalization shall bring forth a most tragic disaster. Ladies and gentlemen, I do not mean to moralize, but we have to face squarely our problems as a nation. We cannot delude ourselves into thinking that we are doing right, that we have a great nation, that we are great as any other nation when there is much in us to be done and undone. We cannot compete globally unless we manifest the basic precondition of national unity. We cannot compete globally under the vicious cycle of political strife and disunity. We cannot compete globally in the absence of national discipline. We cannot compete globally unless we learn to help ourselves. Globalization shall make culturally strong nations even much stronger. It can only destroy the poor and weak ones. To which nation would you like to belong?